You must needs be strangers. Would you be pleased to find a nation of such barbarous temper that breaking out in hideous violence would not afford you an abode on earth, whence their detested knives against your throats, spurn you like dogs, and like as if that God owned not, nor made not you, nor that the elements were not all appropriate to your comforts, but chartered unto them? What would you think to be thus used?
I see the gates when shut it down. The paper's barely dry, they call it right. Hands that swear they serve the law, mask their faces from the sight. They name it duty, law, faith, and practice cruelty without shame. They call it order, call it peace. Cut out compassion piece by piece. Say the violence is necessary, call the key just temporary. Speak of threats of numbers, lists of shadows moving in the dark. They stop saying people first and start saying risk and cost. It's easier when words are shaved down to something sharp and thin. You don't feel the cut as much when you never name the skin. Tell me, when did mercy start needing proof of worth? If this is justice, let it weep.
This is justice, let it weep.
If this is law, let it confess.
This is law, let it confess.
You call it safety, I call it fear.
Call it safety, I call it fear.
Dressed in uniforms and press.
Dressed in uniforms and press.
You don't need hate to make a crime, just silence sinking time. Because there's always been the trick to make the stranger less than mine. Build the wall, you say it clean, like stone can save you from a soul. You say dangerous criminals until the word dangerous seats the hole. You say it's not about the color, not the language, not the name, but somehow all the faces blur when the target stays the same. You say it's justice doing work, that freedom needs a measured end, but freedom's never had a badge that taught it who could stand. You don't swing the knife yourself, you just look away and trust. History loves this version best, where no one says I must. Would you still call it law if the boots were on your neck?
If this is order, let it choke.
If this is order, let it choke.
If this is peace, let it brew.
You don't need fire to burn a home, just laws that teach you who to lose. You say the stranger is the threat, the danger, the disease, but every empire ends this way, confusing cruelty with peace. What would you think if driven out, if borders bloom beneath your feet? If earth itself said not for you, would mercy learn to check receipts? If knives were wet against your skin, if dogs were taught your sin was wrong, if home became a foreign sin, if God were rented, not bestowed, if all the world were charted out and mercy privately owned, would you still say this must be done? Would you still call it just a right? Or would you finally name the truth when the fire was at your light? If being born became the crime that justified the guilt of time, what would you call it? Standing there watching justice lose its face, would you still say this must be done? Or finally name the case? Don't say you didn't recognize the shape of history repeat. Don't say this moment felt brand new. It's 400 years in the street. The stranger's case is still the same. The words are fresh, the fear is old. And every time you close the door, you trade your heart for something cold. They ask what you would think if it were done to you. And now we know.
This